It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Here's your host, Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. We have made it to the last day of July. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Thanks for listening this morning. Many of you dealing with the rain. If you're up early today, and Monday is starting with rain and storms for many. I think a lot of folks probably pretty happy about that because it at least keeps the heat at bay for a few hours for most of us with the cloud cover, the rain, the storm chances. But eastern counties could have a few strong storms out there early today. So it's something that I want to bring up early on. And then back to programming as usual, which for us is the heat. That's been the real headline in this forecast over the last couple of weeks. This week, no exception. Really, new week, same heat. That's what's sticking around for us over the next couple of days. We do have that morning storm chance out there, so be cautious early this morning. Maybe plan a few extra minutes on that morning drive. Take it slow. There could be some ponding on the area roadways, perhaps some gusty winds with some of the stronger storms that are out there. That scattered storm chance, by the way, it's going to stick around in the forecast. I have an isolated chance for storms this afternoon. However, I think most of it on Monday comes before 11 o'clock a.m. And then I also think that there's going to be at least an isolated chance for some scattered storms on Tuesday. I can't rule rain out any one day this week, but this morning is probably our best shot for the next 5 days. So I hope you get a little downpour if you want it. We have high temperatures this week that will once again return close to those triple digit values. So it's going to be another scorcher out the door. Early this morning, I told you we're dealing with the rain and storms, and eastern counties are probably looking to get a bit more in the rain gauge out of this one. I'm not really expecting a whole lot out west, unfortunately, because the worst drought conditions are actually still occurring in many of our western counties, as I showed you that drought monitor last week. That big ridge of high pressure, though, it's still securely dominating our weather pattern. And what happens here is we get this big bubble of hot air, and it's really hard for storm chances to kind of break through. What we're seeing, though, is the ridge, it's trying to retreat back to the southwest. And for us, it puts us right on the edge of the ridge. So it creates this pattern where kind of storms roll down the ridge and land right in the Ozarks. I think that's going to be the case with our weather pattern the next couple of days. The problem with this setup as a forecaster is that it's incredibly difficult to time these tiny little waves of energy that come through. So while there may be a daily rain chance, it's not going to rain all day, and timing them out is really, really difficult. As I said, I think today, early morning, is the best chance for rain and storms. Then I see an isolated chance tomorrow, but those that are on the edge of this ridge as we head into the end of the work week and perhaps next weekend, that's going to be where the active pattern is once again. Next week, by the way, when I look at some of the longer range models, you're saying, when does this big ridge of high pressure go away? Well, I think next week the ridge really flattens out. So we won't necessarily see an end to the heat immediately, but what we will see is a more stable weather pattern, really, where this big ridge of high pressure is not just controlling the weather for everybody. It kind of retreats back to the south, where it typically is in August. Today, high temperatures affected by the rain and storms. In fact, there may be a few folks that stay in the upper 80s. Enjoy that because that's a cool day in the 7-day forecast. We just see our numbers skyrocket again by tomorrow. I've got upper 90s back in the forecast as early as Tuesday. There will be rain and storms back in the forecast then too. Primarily dry days Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. However, I cannot rule out that little stray storm chance as I showed you that unsettled pattern, giving it about a 10% chance for rain all 3 of those days. That's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Better chances for rain, though, exist this morning, again on Tuesday. And then I'm thinking by the weekend, we start to see that pattern change kind of come into play. And hopefully that opens the door for some rain and storms for us. I'm going to leave you with the weather brain twister question that I left you with on Friday. This is the Wake Up Weather Brain Twister. Here it is. Which was used as a real unit of measurement? Do you think it was A, barleycorns, B, clams, C, orchids, or D, sea urchins? That was the question that I left you with on Friday. And the answer is actually A. It is barleycorns. And you may already know this if you are either a historian or you know a lot about shoe sizes. This dates back to the 1300s, 1324. King Edward II of England was getting a lot of pressure from businessmen in the day. They wanted clarification when they went to order their shoes. what sizes to make those shoes. So it became an official decree from the king, and it is the British standard for an inch would be used to measure in barley corns, and it's 3 barley corns laid end to end. Um, we have more precise measurements nowadays, but apparently you can still, in England anyway, go in and say, my shoe size is this in barley corns, and they still use that. So, barley corn's the answer to the brain twister question today. All right, I'll leave you with the question for tomorrow before we go. What is the name of the largest uninhabited island in the world? Do you know this one? The options are A, Death Island, B, Lonely Island, C, Lava Island, or D, Devon Island. Take your guess. You can do that over on the Around the Ozarks Facebook page. I look forward to revealing the answer early tomorrow morning. Thanks so much for joining today. I appreciate you listening. This is Wake Up Weather on your Monday. And if you need up to the minute weather for the rest of the afternoon, make sure you head to aroundtheozarks.com. We've got you covered there. And I will talk to you on Tuesday.